So welcome back, and today we are going to be seeing how to build a blog article summarizer powered by AI and with Python. Recently I published this course, how to build an affiliate marketing website with AI. So in this course I actually taught at the last part of the course how to build this blog article summarizer to automate your content generation workflow, and I feel that there should be a separate course where, because this course is very long, it's like 4 hours, over 4 hours. All right, and if you've not watched this particular course, I recommend you come and watch this course, how to build an affiliate marketing website with AI, because it is packed with tons and tons of value that is going to really change the way you see and do affiliate marketing in 2025 and beyond. So if I open this video, let's go to the last part of the course. So this is the part of the course where I taught how to build the blog article summarizer. And to build this blog article summarizer, we actually need only three things. We need Python, then we need a code editor, and we need our OpenAI API key. So the first thing you have to do to get things up and running, you need to download Python. Just come to python.org and download Python, or you can just type Python download. So just click on download Python. Now you're going to see download Python, and this is the version, the current version that is available. Maybe when you'll be watching this course, there might be a new version of Python. All right, so once you click on download, it's going to download the one that is compatible with your OS. All right, or you can just click on Mac if you're on Mac, you can click on Linux if you're on Linux, or Windows if you're on Windows. But once you click on download Python, it's going to download the one that is compatible with your system. Once you finish downloading it, if you're on Mac, just drag and drop the file inside your application folder and it's going to install. Then if you're working on Windows, just right click and run as an administrator, and it's going to get Python compiler installed on your system or your operating system. Let me close it. Then the second thing we need is a VS Code, which is the code editor that we are going to be using to write our code. Just search for VS Code download. So just like the way you did when you're downloading Python, you can click Mac or Windows or any operating system that you're working with, and it's going to get downloaded just like before. Also drag and drop the downloaded VS Code to your application folder if you're on Mac, or just run as an administrator if you're on Windows, and it's going to get installed. Then the third thing you're going to get is your OpenAI API key. Just come to platform.openai.com, platform.openai.com, then click on enter. Then the next thing you're going to do is to don't come to Playground, come to a dashboard, not OpenAI Playground. A Playground is where, if we want to train our language model, this is where we test our language model out. Just come to dashboard, then come to API key, and before then make sure you fund your OpenAI account. I think OpenAI don't give free credit again. Before they used to give free credit, but they don't now. So just come to usage. You see, if you already have an OpenAI account, you're going to see your usage, how much that you spend, how many requests that you've made, and all. Then just come to your OpenAI, come to API key rather, and click on create API key after funding your account. All right, so let me just say my second key, and you can fund your account with as low as $5. All right, let's keep the permission to on, then click on create key. And one thing you need to understand about creating an OpenAI API key, or maybe DeepSeek, or most of these large language models, that their API key is always one-time copy, meaning that you have to copy this API key and save it somewhere. All right, because if you don't copy it and you click on close, you are not going to be able to copy this API key again. You just go to revoke it and recreate it again. So just have that in mind. Make sure you copy your API key and save it in a safe place. All right, just copy, then close. All right, I can come to Google Docs, and I can save it anywhere that I want to save I feel like saving my API key. And at any point in your development workflow that you feel that your API key is being compromised, just make sure that you revoke the API key and create a new one, and make sure that you secure the new one in a place that nobody is going to have access to it. So this is my API key. I just pasted my API key. So the next thing we have to do now is to open our VS Code. So let me close this and reopen it so that you get to see what I'm doing. Let me click on this, and this is a folder that I've already created. I want to open this folder directly on my VS Code, alright? Or maybe I should just open it. If the folder I didn't open, then I can come and open the folder manually, alright? So confirm, this is how your own VS Code is going to look like once you finish installing it and you open it for the first time. So if you want to create a file, you can just come to this place. You got to create a folder where all your files, all your development files and folders are going to be stored. All right, if you've created a folder inside, you can create a folder here. You can create a new folder and name it anything. All right, and once you've named it, you can drag and drop it inside your VS Code. You see the folder now? Can you see the folder? It's not here. Yes, I trust this author. So anything you're doing is going to be inside this folder. All right, everything you're going to be doing is going to be inside this folder. So now I want to open another folder. Just right click, then this is my folder, the folder I'm working on, the folder that has this code that I'm going to be giving to you. All right. And again, another thing I want to say is that when you're installing Python, when you downloaded Python from the python.com website, is I recommend the option that they say add Python to path, so that everything is going to be very, very easy for you. So now this is the folder that contains my code, all right, and these are a lot of projects I'm working on, just like I've already indicated in the affiliate marketing course. This is actually a web scraper that I'm trying to build. Then this is a chatbot I'm trying to build. There are like 4 different projects I'm trying to build here, but what you're going to be more concerned about is, if you look at this folder, just like we created that dummy folder before, you see that I have a folder called Python First Program. So you can also create a folder and name it anything. You can also name it Python First Program, or you can name it anything, because this is the folder that I want you to create, or just any random folder at all. Then I want you to create another folder, all right, called prompt. Inside this folder, you create another folder called prompts. And to create folder, you see this. If you want to create folder, you hover over this. This is to create folder. You can call it anything, tester folder. All right. So this is an entirely new folder altogether. So if you open the folder, you see that nothing is inside. And if you right click on the folder, you can delete the folder. All right. You can delete the folder. And again, if you want to create a file, you can just come to this first icon, this first file sign. You click on it, you'll be able to create a file, a Python file. And when you're creating a Python file, the extension is going to end with py, because it is a Python file. You can create something like anything. You can just name it anything .py. All right, click on enter. You see that it's now open the Python file, and as you can see, the Python logo is here. So let's close it. Then this is the Python file that you just created. If you want to drag it into another folder, if you want to remove it from this folder, you can simply drag it outside. You can actually drag it outside to be at the global Python folder environment. Then if you want to drag it inside this prompt folder again, you can easily drag it. This is it. You can easily drag it back into the Python folder. Look at, I usually want to move this into, no, cancel. I want to move it into into the prompt folder. All right, you just move it. You see, Are you sure you want to move this Python file into the prompt folder? Yes. So assuming we moved it before, it would have been inside this PyCouch folder. All right. So as we've seen how to move Python files, so I'm going to right click and delete it. So if you look at inside this prompt folder, the only two folders I want you to be concerned about here is the blog summary.py, blog underscore summary.py, and blog made easy.py. All right, forget about this py couch. Forget about this tweet.py. This is a prompt for Twitter thread generator that I'm trying to build, an online tool that I'm trying to build. So inside this prompt, I'm storing different prompts that I'm trying to optimize in building my online tools. So this tweet.py is actually out of the picture. Alright, we are not going to be using this tweet.py. So I just want you to create just one folder. Then inside that folder, create another folder called prompt. Inside that prompt, you can create blog underscore summary.py, create a blog made easy.py. So I would like you to create it like this so that you will follow religiously to make sure that everything works for you. Then if you want to test out things on your own, or you want to get your hand dirty, you can decide to name your files and folders anything, so that at least you understand how everything works before you start doing your manipulation. All right, so this is our primary script. All right, then this is the prompt that is going to help us to be generating our blog summary or our article summary. If you look at this prompt, you're going to see that I have the short prompt, I have the medium prompt, then I have the long prompt, then I also have the SEO optimized prompt. All right, let's come to the main script, and we're going to see how everything is simple. So the first thing we have to do is preparing our script for the project, and the first library that we'll have to import is the OpenAI library, and this is the library that is going to help us to interact with OpenAI large language model. If you're working with other LLM like Gemini or Cloud or Anthropic or Grok, you are also going to import their library. All right, and before you import their library, you must ensure that the library is already installed and is in your local Python environment. Just go to import it. So, and to install OpenAI library, all you got to do is to type pip install OpenAI. All right, once you click on pip install OpenAI, click on enter. So it's going to fetch the OpenAI library and install it on your computer. All right, and since I've installed it before, it's now showing me requirement already satisfied, requirement already satisfied. So I'm going to clear. Then the next library that I'm going to install is the request library, just the same way. You write pip install request, also type enter, and requirement is already satisfied. This is how you're going to do for all of them. Clear? So the same way, pip install BS4, beautiful soup 4. So the same way it's going to also fetch this and install it. Already satisfied. Then the same thing with the readability mode, and I'm going to explain what all these modules does. Then for the readability mode is a little bit different. So you are going to type pip install readability -l XML. So you got to get this part correctly, readability-l XML. All right, pip install readability-l XML, then click on enter. So as you can see, requirement is already satisfied. So these are the preparatory module that we are going to be using in our script. So once you finish installing these 3 modules, and again I will advise you to do this in a virtual environment, because if you do this, that is, you're installing this module in your global Python environment. So I would like you to create a virtual environment before you install these modules. All right, so what you have to do is to create a virtual environment before you start typing all those pip install OpenAI, pip install request, pip install BS4. All right, I would like you to create a virtual environment to isolate other project or other libraries that you installed in your global Python environment so that it won't conflict with your current project. All right, so just type Python -m, and M stands for make, then virtual environment VENV. Then the name of the virtual environment, you can call it anything. You can call it ENV. You can call it test. So just anything at all that you want to call, or rest or resting, or anything at all that you want to call your virtual environment. Once you click on enter, you're going to create the virtual environment. Remember, I've already created a virtual environment called ENV, so that's the reason why I don't want to create another virtual environment. All right, once you've created the virtual environment like this, so the next thing you have to do is to now activate your new virtual environment. Then after activating the new virtual environment, before you start installing all these necessary libraries like OpenAI pip install, you start doing pip install OpenAI pip install request, pip install BS4, and pip install readability-lxml. So to activate your virtual environment, just come and type source, then the name of the virtual environment env. Let me assume that the name of my virtual environment is env slash bin slash activate. So once you click on enter, this virtual environment is going to get activated. All right, and after the activation, then you can proceed to install the necessary Python modules. And once you finish installing the necessary Python modules, all those pip install OpenAI, then the next thing you have to do is to now import it into your script. Then just type import OpenAI import request from the beautiful soup for library, then import this beautiful soup class. All right, and this is what is going to help us to be extracting the HTML markup and form of any URL that we are browsing through. All right, then this request mode is what is going to help us to be browsing on our script. It's more or less like opening a web browser, just like the way you come to web browser like Chrome and you come and type how to build a spaceship. So the way you browse on your normal browser is the way the request library is going to help us to be browsing any URL from our script, directly from our script, without visiting the web browser. All right, so if we have a URL now, so this request library or the request mode is going to help to browse that, is going to allow us to be able to browse that URL. So the next library here is the BS4. Is going to now fetch the HTML markup or HTML form of that of the content of that URL. Then the readability subclass is what is going to help us to now filter out all the unnecessary footer and navigation, and is going to read only the article and summarize only the article. All right, then the next thing here in our script is the OpenAI API key. All right, this is where you're going to be defining your OpenAI API key, and make sure that you import OpenAI, because if you don't import OpenAI, you are not going to be able to access this method, this API underscore keys, which is going to help you to define your API key. So just make sure you import your OpenAI after installing OpenAI, so that you'll be able to access the API key method or function. So then add your API key. All right, then this is the place where you're going to be able to import your prompt. All right, a short prompt. If you come to the blog made easy, this is where we stored our prompt. This is the short prompt, this is the medium prompt, this is the long prompt, this SEO summary prompt. Let's come back to our blog summary.py. So this is our try yourself blog, so that if there's an issue importing any of the prompt depending on what we define in our program, it is going to return a particular error to the user. All right, could not import prompt from blogmediz.py module. All right, so basically this line is going to help to import our prompts, the 4 or 3 prompt from this blog made easy file or module, this blog made easy module. All right, so this blog made easy is been imported into our script. Then just come back. So if anything is wrong with the import, this is the error that is going to be displayed. Then this is now the function, the real function to fetch a content from our URL, to browse our URL and fetch content from it. Then I think that is pretty much it about this code. I think another part, the important part of this code is the side that contain the while loop. Exactly, this is the while loop, and not just in Python, in programming in general, we have two types of loop. We have the while loop and the for loop. And the while loop is the type of loop that is actually infinite unless a particular condition is being met. So if you specify a condition that must hold, for instance, you tell somebody you can only come out when there is rain. You know that the person can only come out when there is rain. So that means the person must not come out when there is no rain. And if the person tries to come out, that condition no longer holds true. That condition, the person has broken the condition. All right, so that is what while loop does. It helps to ensure that an action keep on reoccurring or repeating itself unless a particular condition is met, and it won't occur again. So let's look at this. So once this program is being run, you will have the flexibility of choosing either short or medium or long, or the SEO form of the summary of the blog post that we are fetching from a URL. All right, or if you click on exit, the program is going to terminate. Look at, if summary type is exit, then print exiting summarizer, then break the loop. So the program, you're going to be breaking the program once the summary type is exit. All right, so once you type exit inside your program, when you run your program, once you type exit, so this program is going to be continuous. It's going to be an infinite loop until somebody types exit before the program is going to break. If not, the program is going to continue like that. If you type short, it's going to generate short form of the blog post. Then if you type medium, it's going to be generating the medium form of the blog post. If you write long, it's going to be generating the long form of the blog post. If you type SEO, it's going to be generating the SEO form of the blog post. All right, but once you type exit, the program is going to terminate. It's going to break the loop and end the loop. All right, then let's run this and see what is going to happen. If I click on Command R to run this program, and as the program is running, let's look at, because I added a default URL here that is going to automatically, once I click on enter, it's going to automatically check this URL and summarize and preview the content of this URL and fetch the content of this URL, preview it. Then I will now have the options of choosing whether I want a short, a summary, or a medium summary, or a long summary. All right, so look at enter. Look at what our program is saying. Enter the URL of the blog post, or press enter for sample, for this sample URL that I defined. So you can actually decide to remove this sample URL and just go with a predefined and just go with a URL that you're going to be adding here. All right, but I wrote this program in such a way that once you click on enter, it's going to go with this default URL. But if you don't want to go with this default URL, you're going to be supplying a URL here. But for the meantime, let's go with this default URL by clicking on enter. So fetching content, then now choose summary type, short, medium, long, SEO, or exit to quit. So if I type medium, so it's going to be generating, generating medium summary. It's going to be generating medium form of this blog post. And this particular blog post, this particular URL is a blog post that I publish on my website. You come and type. So this is a blog post I wrote about the Mac connectivity issue with DNS and no internet. So if you look at, you see that I wrote, I guess you face the issue Mac connected to Wi-Fi but no internet. Let's go back to our program, to the preview of our program. So this is a snippet of the blog post that I fetched from that URL. I guess you face the issue Mac connected to Wi-Fi but no internet. I was recording one of my courses on Udemy when I encountered some issue. I noticed my Mac is still connected over the Wi-Fi network, but for a weird reason, the internet was not just going through. Let's go. You're going to see that it actually fetched the content of that URL perfectly. I guess it faced the issue Mac connected to Wi-Fi but no internet. So I was recording one of my courses on Udemy when I encountered some issue. I noticed my Mac is still connected over the Wi-Fi network, but for a weird reason, the internet was not just going through. As you can see that they are the same. It first of all fetched the snippet, then it now prompted me to choose summary type. All right, see, do you want medium, long, short, or the SEO form of it, or is it? All right, once I type a medium, then it now summarizes it. Then let's just go through the summary. I guess you face the issue, Mark. Let's calm down. This is the medium summary. In this blog post, the author discussed a common connectivity issue for those using Mac with Wi-Fi but experiencing no internet connection. The author found that the program was not due to a Mac update or issue with their ISP, but rather a slow/misconfigured DNS server. Using a DNS server provided by Google, there's a normal Google server 8.8.8.8 and the Cloudflare DNS 1.1.1.1 resolves the problem. Alright, this is just the summary, the medium summary of the blog post. Then, as you can see, just like I said in our infinite loop, in our while loop, so this program is going to be continuous. As you can see, once after generating this medium summary, it is still running. All right, if I type short, click on enter, it's going to generate the short form of that blog post, the short summary of that blog post. As you can see, this is the short summary of it. Struggling with the Mac connectivity issue, no internet issue. The problem could be a slow/misconfigured DNS server. Fix it by changing your DNS server to Google Global DNS or Cloudflare DNS under the system setting. This is the short form of the blog post, or the short summary of the blog post. All right, as if you look down, you are still going to see that the program is still running. Then if you type long, it's going to generate long form of the summary, the longer form of the summary. If you type SEO, it's going to generate SEO optimized form of the summary. If you type exit, remember this program is only going to terminate. It will keep running like this. It will keep running until you terminate it, you break the program. And the way to break the program is by typing exit, just like I specify here. See, summary type. Once summary type is exit, summary type is equal to exit, break the loop, print is exiting summarizer, print exiting summarizer, then break the loop. Then let's type exit. See, it printed exiting summarizer. Then it now break the loop. It now ended our program. If you click on clear, it now cleared. So this is pretty much it, and I want you to try this script. And if you face any problem at all with this script, I'm going to be both in the comment section in my website, and you can also send me an email at support@jnsi.com, and I'll be very, very glad to assist and help you. And I think pretty much I want us to, you know that I use a default URL. I want us to rerun this program. Then let's copy an entirely different URL, so that let it not be as if we are just using a default URL that we define in the program. So this was the blog post that we used. Then let's check out these best VPS providers with port 25 open. Let's copy link address. Then let's go back, enter the URL. Instead of pressing enter for it to go with the default URL that I defined, So I'm going to be putting in a new URL, an entirely new URL. All right. So you're going to also be putting in a new URL here, and just click on enter. So as you can see, it now brought a preview of that particular blog post. Before we discuss the best GPS provider with port 25, let's first understand what ports are in computer networking according to Cloudflare. Then, according to Cloudflare, a port is a virtual point where network connectivity starts and ends. Let's now also preview this and see if they are the same. Before we discuss GPS with port 25, let's first understand what ports are in computer networking. According to Cloudflare, port is a virtual point where network connection starts and ends. As you can see, it generated the snippet just like our default URL. Now, we are now brought to our infinite loop or our while loop. So I can type medium. Alright, it should generate the medium summary. So, port is a computer networking, a virtual point where networking connection begins and ends. They are managed by a computer operating system and are instrumental in establishing connection between different services over the internet. For instance, port 25 is required for sending email. Without a no email connection can be established. However, VPS companies block port 25 by default due to prevalence of spam. Alright, this is the medium summary, and if I short, remember our infinite loop is still running. If I type short, it's going to generate a very short summary. Then about the vital role of port in computer networking and the challenges of keeping port 25, which is essential for sending email. So this is just a short summary of this blog post here. Alright, so the infinite loop is still running until you type exit. So I wanted to try this script, and if you face any problem, make sure you comment your problem in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe for new updates almost every week. Bye for now.